everybody. Welcome to another episode of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. It is Francis and Jack back on the microphones, and we're here because I want to talk travel. We've been talking travel a lot, and this past April, you and I both did a little bit of traveling.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about that travel.
I'm here as proof of concept that it's possible to live through a St. Louis experience. I'm proof of life. I made it.
We managed to. We ran you through the ringer of the City Museum. We shoved your family full of Emo's Pizza, and somehow you still managed to escape. So
yeah, we drove 90 miles an hour through East St. Louis, just like get through it as fast as possible. We
don't slow down for nothing.
Yeah, that was really fun. First of all, I mean, you know, anytime that you have an exclusively internet-based relationship, there's always the question mark of when you land in the destination. First of all, is the person who's meeting you there going to be the person you thought it was? Or is it like an old creeper? Is this like a To Catch a Predator type situation? Or have you been an AI this whole time? Maybe you're not even a real person.
I do generally look like a Bitmoji in real life, as people tell me.
Yeah, totally. So I warned the family, like, okay, so it could be that we see Francis and his family and they look like ordinary human beings, or they might look like sexy pineapple emojis. We just don't know.
We couldn't. I'm glad you went with sexy pineapple and not the poop emoji. I appreciate that. And
it turned out you guys were sort of a blend of the two.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I do enjoy pineapple, and it's got to come out sometime. So Jack, you made a Midwest trip, and of course we're going to talk about your time in St. Louis, but you hit a couple of other places too. So, remind the listeners, what was your travel destinations here? Yeah,
so we've done a pretty extensive amount of traveling as a family, and for this spring break, maybe part of it is like just our whole domestic situation right now. The idea of traveling to Europe currently in our geopolitical environment just feels like a fraught endeavor. That has been off our agenda for a little bit. We went to Italy last summer, which was great. And our experience generally is that when we meet people from Europe or any other country besides America, and they meet our family, they're kind of relieved that we don't resemble the archetype. Like, oh, yeah, you guys seem totally cool and normal. Like,
it's kind of, Americans are like the world meeting a bear in the woods kind of thing. Like, you're going to meet a bear in the woods versus an American. It's like, I don't know. The American could have a gun. Maybe that will help with the bear. Maybe they're just going to rob me. I don't know.
Yeah, generally, I think we present as Winnie the Pooh. I mean, partially because whenever we travel, we do it bottomless. So we're totally Donald Ducking it the whole time. And frequently get our heads stuck in honey. But, so I almost feel like traveling internationally, we have a responsibility to do it just as ombuds people for this country. Like, let's give them an alternative view.
Right.
I'll be the mouthpiece for America for a little bit.
You're nothing like the American TV show shows me.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not stupid at all. Dad's supposed to be goofy. Stupid dad. You're too smart. I don't know which European accent I was going for there. It kind of spanned a few countries there.
I'm sure it was offensive to at least three microcultures. Yeah. But, also just looking at like a globe, my wife and I realized that like we have spent more time in certain regions of Italy than we have in the majority of the U.S. Like we live in this country and there's so many places that we haven't spent time or that we have and our kids haven't. And it's like, our kids have like strong opinions about Milan and like the right and wrong places to be there. And yet they haven't been in, the majority of the top, 20 cities in the U.S. So it felt like, I think it's really valuable to travel internationally, but there's a lot of cool and interesting stuff to see locally that we just haven't done. Yeah. And so that plus the fact that I was born in Indiana and had been to Chicago several times, but always as a band. Like I've only really spent recreational time in Chicago, like on one or two trips. It seemed like doing something in the Midwest would be interesting. Our son is getting to the point where he's a freshman in high school, but he's really interested in music and potentially going to college for drumming. And Indiana University has a really amazing music program. So this was a chance to do like an unofficial college visit, like just walk through campus and see what it's like in the music buildings. So the more we thought about it, the more it was like, there are lots of little destinations all around the Midwest that wouldn't each on their own be a destination, but, kind of linked together. That would be a really fun and interesting trip. So we did a big clockwise loop starting in Chicago and getting as far south is southern Indiana, all as far west as St. Louis, and then back up to Chicago again, too. And it was really cool.
Yeah. One great thing about traveling around America, as I have found, is that we are one big country, and it makes it a lot easier. Because when you go to Europe, it's not so much of a problem now with the euro and a lot of language, kind of crossing borders and everything. But, if you go to Europe, you've got to get different money. You've got to learn what imperial measurements are. You've got to understand how exchange rates work. But you can go, you're in Seattle, you can come to St. Louis. We use the same dollar bills that you guys do. We speak, roughly the same language. And I noticed this too when I was down, when I was traveling for work. I had to travel down south into Mississippi. And I've never, I've been to Mississippi, but I've never traveled to Mississippi. I've never driven through it. And it was just like an entirely different world down there. They've got kudzu everywhere. There's cotton fields all over the place. The whole, landscape is completely different. And that's just, that was a 6-hour drive south of me.
Totally.
So that's, if you want to travel, you definitely should. And you should travel, inside of America too. Yes. Going outside of America is going to be very fraught. And of course, we'll talk about me coming back from Canada.
This is exciting.
Yeah. Well, it was fine. It was surprisingly very simple to cross over from Canada into America off of a cruise ship. So there's a couple steps there. But yeah, America, while we were out there, I got to see the Rocky Mountains. I don't get to see mountains. I don't have mountains here. We have the Ozarks, which are not, the grandiose mountain range, and it's not the Smoky Mountains of the Appalachians. So it's really nice, and you definitely should find time, especially if you're in the Midwest, because if you drive 6 hours any direction, you're going to be in a completely different landscape. You leave here and you go to Kansas, it's all flat prairie land, and it's incredible. It's incredible to go see and drive through. I've driven to Wichita, Kansas before and back. And it's a wonderful scene to see, and it is completely different than what I have at home. So
I think it does take more probably research now to have an authentic, different experience in each one of these sub regions within the U.S. than maybe it used to. I'm just thinking we do very much live in a monoculture. The Starbucks here are like the Starbucks there. There are so many, if you close your eyes when you're driving into a town and just open your eyes in the downtown corridor, you could be in any number of downtown experiences all around the U.S. From commerce to just landscape design to what buildings look like, the urban experience. Climates are obviously different, but, it's unlike in Europe where, the U.S. is roughly the size of the EU. And if you travel the distance between two states in America, you're in a state that, at least from an urban perspective, looks a lot like where you just left. Versus if you're in Europe, you leave Italy and 2 states away, you're in the middle of Germany, which is a completely different experience from language to food to everything. But if you do enough research, you really can find some really key differences. And obviously, naturally, there are huge differences in the U.S. If you're into nature, if you're into being outside of cities and, checking out whatever the razzle dazzle natural experiences in that part of the country, that's obviously easy to find. We discovered that a couple summers ago on our national parks road trip, where, driving through Utah and Colorado, it's nuts. It's crazy. And it's not that hard to get those places.
Yeah, definitely. The entire time flying to and from Vancouver, I was the one plastered to the window watching the Rocky Mountains go underneath us, because I had to come back to my flat riverlands. We also really enjoyed the entire look of all of Vancouver, the cruise ship coming up and getting the really nice deep fog banks, a real Twin Peaks kind of vibe.
Oh, totally.
Everything. Yeah. Beth and I both absolutely fell in love with just that general area, because she hates the sunlight. She's the direct sunlight, no good for her eyes. She dislikes it. And an environment where it's always just kind of a little cloudy and foggy in the morning and then burns off by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. absolute perfect environment for us.
Yeah.
So we're switching, like we're always searching for a new house because everybody, kind of fantasy shops for houses. And now we're kind of looking at the Seattle area and saying, wouldn't that be nice to afford that?
Yeah, to afford that. I was going to, that's the parentheses I was going to put around that sentence. Best of luck.
The little addition there to that. Yeah, while we were in Vancouver, we talked to, we had an Uber driver or a Lyft driver that was taking us to the airport. And just talking like, Vancouver's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's this great city. It's very diverse. It's very walkable. We got to see Gastown and everything. It's like, yeah. It's super expensive, though. Super expensive.
Yeah. So Canada recently, I don't know like how extensive this was, but I think that they passed legislation to prevent offshore real estate investing happening in Vancouver specifically, because this was a huge thing that like a lot of, moneyed people, I think particularly like in the Pacific Rim, were just buying up like downtown condo space in Vancouver where it just sits empty, driving up property values and costs and everything. And also, leading to, people having to move further and further out into the diaspora. So, yeah, I should look into that. A couple of years ago, there was like some very punchy legislation to outlaw that. And I don't know like how you do that retroactively. Like, can you force people who don't have residency in your country to sell their land? I don't know how that works.
You can. There are some countries that have very strict ownership rules. Like I know Thailand, you have to be Thai native to fully own any property there. So like you can go live there, you can go rent there, but if you're an American, you're not buying in Thailand unless you are partnering with somebody who is Thai and is going to own the majority of the property. So it can be done. Some places are more worried about the money than they are the people.
Yeah. So, but I think that Vancouver in particular, like their biggest industry was Western culture expansion from people living in like Pacific Rim countries. This was a way to get a foothold in like a Western place. And that drove up property values. Here in Seattle, it's tech. Tech has driven. I mean, it's crazy. Like in the 12 years that we've owned our house, I think property values have increased 300%. It's nuts. Like it's so artificial.
Yeah. And we've been looking at like houses that are for sale around us. And, we always joke that we got the last cheap house in St. Louis. And I think like we could probably sell this for twice as much of money that we owe on it. But then where do I live?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not real money. It's just monopoly money.
Exactly. It's all just, ones and zeros being pushed around.
Well, you could definitely move to downtown Chicago. That was fun. I mean, this is always a pastime of mine is like anytime that I'm walking around, I immediately will start Zillow-ing wherever we're staying just to see like, all right, so what's the deal? Like, what's the... I go straight into...
Who are my neighbors around here?
Mercenary travel.
So you spent so how much time did you spend in Chicago?
We were there only for 2 full days. We're actually going to go back this summer. My son is playing a gig in Milwaukee.
Nice.
He's playing at Summerfest in Milwaukee. It's crazy. So after that, that's going to kick off another road trip. We're doing basically like the Nike swoosh starting in Milwaukee and spending time in Chicago and then heading east. And we're going to do the 4th of July in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although I realized like we should totally do the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. just to look at the president's picture on every single vertical face.
You can really take in the president's face there if you haven't been seeing it enough.
But yeah, so this was very much like my first Chicago type experience. But, went up in the Willis Tower. We saw a comedy show at Second City, ate Chicago style pizza, walked along the Miracle Mile or Magnificent Mile, excuse me. And we stayed at a hotel right underneath the L, we truly had like the Gotham City, Batman, Chicago experience. It's such an awesome city. I love it. I love
Chicago. Yeah, Chicago would be where I would move if it didn't get so painfully cold in the winter. Like that. That
and painfully hot. Although I guess you get that too.
Yeah, we get the hot. But Chicago gets the cold. Like we'll get cold for a week and that's it. Chicago just has a sustained cold, but absolutely beautiful city. Like there's always been like a baseball rivalry between St. Louis and Chicago. And I think that's mostly because St. Louis knows Chicago is a much better city than we are.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I can still shit talk their airport. Did you fly into O'Hare?
Yeah.
Oh, it's god awful airport. terrible airport.
I don't have that perspective, but I don't know. I don't know. It just felt like an airport to me. What's bad about O'Hare from your perspective?
A lot of low ceiling. So there are some fantastically designed airports that don't make it feel like you're just in a rat maze or in a bus terminal.
Sure.
Like Vancouver has a really great airport.
Oh yeah, I've been in that airport. That's amazing. Yeah. Totally.
Exactly. Have you been to the Orlando airport, MCO?
I have been to the Orlando airport.
Fantastic atrium in there.
It looks like you're in Disney. Like that big atrium with the elevators, it feels exactly like you're in a Disney hotel. It's nuts.
Yeah, that hotel, I've stayed in that hotel before too. It's great.
In the airport?
Yeah,
we say wow.
You can get day, like if you're not going to stay overnight, but like if you land and you just want to not sit in the airport all day, you can rent a day room there. And and just have it for the day. Yeah,
just a layover hotel room. That is a baller move.
Right. I'm not sleeping here. I flew in at 6 a.m. for whatever reason. I'm not flying out until 5 again. I want to take a nap somewhere comfortable. You can get a day room at the airport Hilton there.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
So that Atlanta's got a really good one. Denver's got it. There's a lot of good airports out there.
Yeah, Denver's a great airport. The Denver airport's cool because like at each like terminal or concourse, there's like a giant Aztec ruin that you can go down. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So see, it can be done. It can be done well. St. Louis even has a halfway decent looking airport at times. Sometimes. When we were coming back from Vancouver, we had to fly into O'Hare. And I've been through O'Hare plenty of times, and I knew what to expect. Like my brain had already shut down. Like I was like, doesn't matter. 4-hour flight from Vancouver. We touch down, and as soon as we land, the pilot's like, okay, so if you've been here for before, you know we've got about a 20-minute taxi ahead of us. Yeah. And sure enough, driving that airplane around all up and down, back and forth. They got to park the airplane, and that's like, are you? And I was like, yep. Settle in, man. It's not going to get any better. Not going to get any better.
You got plenty of time to finish your movie. You're fine.
Exactly. It's not, we're going to get off. You're going to be like, has nobody cleaned this place? And the answer is no. It's never been cleaned, I don't think. Not properly.
Wow. Maybe we went into a better terminal than yours because I did not have that experience. We were fine.
Have. And to be sure, I've been in some dingy parts of airports that I know are pretty good. But so Chicago, you didn't have the full Chicago experience because you didn't get a shot of Malort. But
wait, a shot of what? What is that?
Malort. Oh God, Malort is the Chicago liqueur. I think it's a liqueur. It is disgusting. It tastes like black licorice.
Okay, so it's like Pernod.
Yeah, it's like Malort as a company and as a brand has leaned into the fact that it is more of a dare than it is a sipping drink.
Okay, yeah.
You get it because you're about to make some bad decisions and you're like, I want to start my bad decision here with this one. And
I'll take a shot of extra sketch marker to just get the whole thing off.
Exactly. So Malort is big in Chicago, but yeah, I do love that place. We go up there for dance competitions. They have an Irish dance competition up there. So
that's awesome. Yeah, a good friend of mine's favorite book was The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson, which it's not a new book. I mean, I think it came out 20 plus years ago, but it's a book about the creation of the Columbian Exposition in 1893, the one that was in Chicago. Okay. And simultaneously, there was a guy that built a hotel expressly for the purpose of murdering people. The Holmes Murder Hotel, and it was right at the end of the big promenade from the World's Exposition. So this book chronicles the building of these two things, and it just bounces back and forth. Like, all right, so here's the White City. Here's all these amazing buildings. Look, here's a Frederick Law Olmsted designing the grounds. And then it cuts over to, and here's this guy building this metal cage where he'd trap people and kill them with ether. It's an amazing book, like truly amazing. It's one of my favorite books now. But I finished it about 3 weeks before going to Chicago and realized, oh my gosh, like we're going to be there. Like like it was not planned. And it was even to the point where I very strongly encouraged my wife to just binge as fast as she could on that book and get as much in as she could. And she made it like probably 2/3 of the way through before we landed. So the first thing we did when we got to Chicago was go to Jackson Park on the south side of Chicago, right where the Obama Library is being built. Because that was the site of the World's Fair where one building has survived like 140 years since it was built. It's truly amazing.
Was it the murder building that survived?
No, that's a post office now. Like the basement is left.
How can we harness this dark energy?
Yeah. What's the most like a murder hotel? You check in and you can never leave. DMV, post office.
Post office, sure.
Yeah.
We love our letter carriers. The Chicago last Chicago experience that I had, we took our daughter to the American Girl doll store that's there. And we took her.
I walked by it. It's near like the Hancock Tower, right? Like on the north side of the Magnificent Mile. Yeah, we walked past that.
Yeah. And did you see the Bean?
We saw the Bean. I parked under the Bean in the parking garage there, and our hotel was like a block away from it. So it was a very Bean heavy trip.
Well, the next time you're up there, if you haven't, like, that general area is still great. The Shed Aquarium and the Natural History Museum are fantastic. You'll spend a day at each. I don't know if you had a chance to hit those up while you're up there too.
No, our kids tend to not be super museum heavy. That tends to be a tooth pulling type experience, but who knows? Maybe this summer. I mean, they're air conditioned.
Wrong kind of nerds then.
Exactly. They're music dorks. We're gonna go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and that will totally pull them in, I'm sure.
Well, did you show them Blues Brothers at least before you came over?
No, that's a great idea. We should do that for the next trip. Yeah.
That'll blend it in for you. Get some Chicago, you get some music.
Totally. I haven't seen that movie for a long time. That would be a good reminder for me too.
Definitely holds up. So then you came down to St. Louis, and we took you to the City Museum. And so that's been on your bucket list for a while, hasn't it?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So I'm sure devotees of this show have heard us talking about it ad nauseum. But in case anyone missed it, this is a 10-story former. Is it a shoe factory or a shoelace factory?
I mean, I don't know why you would need 10 stories for shoelaces. I know shoelaces were made there.
Okay.
They still have a shoelace making machine that works.
So we'll call it a shoe factory. 10-story shoe factory, big industrial brick building that has been turned into just the wildest experiential museum ever. It's like, when our kids were young, we went to like indoor play museums, which I'm sure are, I'm sure everyone has been to one of those or knows what it is. Just like tactile things and maybe climb on something or do little science experiments or whatever. This is like that on just absolute steroids. Like it's nuts. Like school bus hanging off the roof. It's crazy.
Yeah. When you go to those, places for the kids, because we've got a place here called the Magic House that is for children. And it's kind of the same concept, right? There's a lot of really cool things that are built up and things to go touch. But like as an adult, you're not supposed to do it. City Museum is where you can do that. It's where you can go and run around and climb through all kinds of nonsense and, not hurt yourself. I mean, hurt yourself because you're probably in your 30s or 40s and you're climbing around on stuff that you shouldn't. Yeah. But, nobody came out of there with any permanent marks, I don't believe, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, we all did fine. I mean, within, 8 seconds of being in the building, I don't know what I was doing. I think, I went to the bathroom. So we went in, got our wristbands. We were all set. I went to the bathroom, came back out. My family is gone. They are completely missing. And I hear my wife is calling my name like, Jack, I'm looking all around. I have no idea where they are. And then she's like, up here. And I looked up and like just in the ceiling of the foyer of this building, like just the entry area, you can climb up this weird little thing. And now you're climbing in the rafters, like completely hidden by this big elaborate metal trellis that's covered in like metal fish scales. It's impossible to explain. And I kind of, I was like craning my head up there to figure it out and squinting. And I finally saw like one hand just extruded through the ceiling waving at me. They're 20 feet in the air and this is the beginning of the experience. So I got in and climbed behind them. Like, Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it's a place that like with dark lighting and sinister music would be a horror story. Because there's just always something that's moving, or there's always some like, I'm stuck in the walls, I don't know where I am. But like, when you hear it at the City Museum, that's a joyful sound. I'm stuck in the walls, totally. I don't know where I am.
Yeah,
come find me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all punctuation.
And for those of you who haven't been, the City Museum opened, like when you get your wristband, the first, you can go up a set of stairs, but everybody generally goes into this first kind of atrium that leads to a cave system. And that's where everybody gets lost immediately, is the cave. They see the cave, somebody's like, a cave, and then you don't see them for 10 minutes. Because they're just all around. Then they're suddenly 3 stories up. No idea how they got there. And they're looking down at you, and you don't know where you're at either. Yeah.
And in the caves, there's like a pipe organ. There's like this really, insanely uncomfortable, but very cool, like circular slide that goes up, I think, the whole 10 stories up to the roof.
You can slide the whole 10 stories down.
So it's like the whole center of this building has been hollowed out. And I don't think it was by the museum designers or Bob Castley who put it all together. It was the original design where when shoes were being finished on each floor, they would just get hucked into this very tight circular corkscrew slide and just go all the way down. It's like a Tim Burton movie. So you find yourself in this spot looking up, and it's just 10 open stories of nothing with these slides going down from the top that now they've built rebar stairs all around so that you can walk up around them and at any moment just get on those slides and ride them down. I didn't ride him down. My son did. And he's like, yeah, that was the most uncomfortable slide I've ever been in.
It's a terrible experience.
It's not designed for people.
No, you think like, oh, it's a 10-story slide. I'm going to go so fast. No, you're not. You're just going to keep like kicking yourself down because your shoes keep getting it. Like, and your son's pretty tall too.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he was going to go down that slide and not be stuck every 3 feet.
And just every bit of skin against the stainless steel or iron, whatever it is just going,
right.
Squeeze!
Right. You know how every like Gen Xer complains about how playgrounds are too safe now? This is the place where you can go and have a terrible experience on a playground and still have the best time, though.
Oh, best time. I mean, you're going to walk out with tetanus, but it was worth it very much. Your mouth is going to be open one way or the other. Either your jaws drop because the experience was great, or you have lockjaw. Yeah, so it was so rad.
Yeah, we didn't go to the outside area because it was pretty hot. We had a hot April day, and outside, metal, direct sunlight, not great for anybody.
My daughter did go out there, actually, like to the airplane and the big habit trail thing. Yeah. At one point, the one, this is not a negative mark on the museum, but just a reality of it is, when you're in a party of 7, the 4 people in my family plus the 3 people in yours, it is impossible to keep those 7 people together. So it won't happen. So half the time you're just like trying to figure out like, all right, have you seen this person? I have no idea where they are. I don't know.
It was kind of a running like, have you seen this person in the last 5 minutes? Yes, cool. So we know that they're alive somewhere in here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Next time you see them, can you get a picture of them with today's newspaper just to prove it?
Yeah, and that is a reality of the City Museum, because if you walk into that place and you are, like your family and my family, just love to be awestruck by something and see something shiny and go wander. But everybody has their different shiny thing that they go wander after. And you just have to be like, cool with it. Like, don't leave the building,
right, exactly.
You can't even say that because you can go outside and climb stuff. It's like, just don't go back to the car, please. Just stay in this general area.
Yeah, stay in the contiguous 48 states.
Right. And every once in a while, you just have to do a Marco Polo through the whole thing and see if you can find them. And as long as you hear a sound, an echo back, you're going to be good. But I know we went into the caves and we found a door that ended up just like kind of dumping us out on the second floor somewhere. So it'll happen.
Yeah. At one point, I couldn't find anyone in my family. And then I heard giggling, which sounded like them. And I was like, where are they? What are they doing? And I realized they all had their fingers in this fish tank of these feeder fish that were eating the calluses off their fingertips, which was for all 4 of us our favorite part of the museum. putting your hands in, and suddenly it's just teeming with these tiny little finger-length fish that are all just taking like pain-free bites out of your fingers and palms. So Like I lost literally 15 years worth of base calluses.
Come to the City Museum for a mani-pedi. They're okay with your hands. I don't know if they'd be okay with you putting your feet up there, but you do get the Dr. Fish. Our aquarium has those Dr. Fish in it too, and I've experienced it once, and that was enough.
I loved it. Oh man, I would still be there if we didn't have to move on.
I just imagine like suddenly like a piranha kind of situation where I'm going to put my hand in and pull it back cartoonishly, like, and it's just going to be a skeleton hand,
Yeah.
They're all just there. I'm like, totally. And I know that's obviously impossible, but also that's just how my brain works with Dr. Fish. Like they're going to completely deglove my hand. I'm going to have a cartoon hand, a cartoon skeleton hand. Can't go through life like that. So they have the aquarium in there. They had the skate park, the no skate park where you can run around and climb on some ropes. It was an actual skate park at one time, but they had to stop allowing that because technically it was the most dangerous thing in the museum.
Yeah, I believe it.
To make it less dangerous, this is just a skate park that you run around on with your sneakers. So
yeah, still fun.
That worked out.
Totally. Yeah. And it's a fun time when my kids actually want to do things together. My 12-year-old daughter and 15-year-old son, they were there in the skateless skate park with the Indiana Jones rope swinging from one side of the half pipe to the other and like cheering each other on and like one-upping each other like that. When you're on a road trip with your kids in the back seat.
Especially when they're teenagers too. Or
yeah. You're really craving those kind of moments. So
scoring some real dad points there at the City Museum. Bring your teenage children; they will love it. One great thing about the City Museum is that it's a lot like Disney World, in which like when you look at you're in one place and you're like, I want to be over there. You've got a lot of different options to get over there.
Yeah.
In Disney World, maybe you take a monorail, maybe you take a boat. City Museum, maybe you take these stairs. Maybe you cram yourself into that alcove over there and shimmy your way up a bunch of welded-in rebar and suspend yourself 20 feet above the floor. You can do that too if you would like to be at the top of this dome. And that's the roof experience at the City Museum.
Yeah, I did not have the guts for that, but my son he did it twice. He did it a second time so he could get a good photo op out of the experience. So we have a picture of him. The roof of the building has like the cylindrical the dome-shaped top of a grain silo, right? Like a corn elevator, like one of those things. It's huge, like probably 30 feet in diameter, but it's also elevated so that if you're on the outside of the building, you can walk a spiral around it to get to the top. But if you're feeling bold, you can climb a rebar cage on the inside of it so that you're always looking down at the negative space underneath. It's like going up, like climbing the dome in the Duomo in Florence, Italy, or something like that. But it's just open air underneath you. My son had no problem with that. And for me, just looking at it, I got cold sweats. I'm not a heights dude. Like, I don't know how he did it.
I did it one time. The last time I was at the City Museum, which was years ago, and it was one of those like, did I remember that correctly? Is that a thing? Was that like, could you actually do that? And I was glad to see that it did still exist. And but I did not do it this time. I'm 43 years old and my body hurts enough.
Totally.
Because you're at a certain point, knees and elbows on rebar, not a comfortable place to be in, even when you're young. So there's a lot of parts of City Museum that nowadays I will look at and say, I'm good with that. I don't need to do that part of it.
Especially, I had just taken down like a whole like cheesy pretzel at the snack bar on the roof too. So there were a number of things holding me back. That was another one. The true test of the experience was at the end of the night. We stayed just right down the street at a hotel right next to the Arch. We kind of planned it all out so that the next morning we could do the Arch. And I was really stoked on this particular hotel that we chose because they had like a full cable weight machine, like a Precor machine, like the fitness center was really solid. And I was trying really hard to like hit the gym as many days during our trip as I could. So I was excited, like, all right, we're going to go out for pizza. We'll come back, kind of chill a little bit, and then I'm going to hit the gym. I was out at 9:15, like I'm incapable of moving. I laid down in bed thinking like, all right, I just need like five just a little 5-minute refresher here. And then next thing I knew, it was 7 a.m. the next day. I was wiped out.
That'll have the City Museum is going to work some muscles that you're not working out in a gym. And that's, you CrossFit, whatever. Don't need any of that. Get your season pass to the City Museum. Spend 3 days. Find a different way to get from floor 1 to floor 3 every day, and that'll be your workout. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you're going to get swole. It's wild. So I am so excited that after all these years of that being on my bucket list, I don't know when my wife and I first found out about it. Maybe I'm sure it was featured like in the top 10 weirdest places in America kind of, listicle a long time ago. And for whatever reason, that one stuck. I think I was probably still a teacher at that point too. And just all these years later to actually have it not just live up to the expectation, but surpass it was so satisfying. Man, I'm so glad we went.
Yeah, it is. If you do come to St. Louis, a lot of people will tell you a lot of places to go, but City Museum is always going to be a top 3 just because you're not going to find anything else like it.
Yeah.
But you also went to another place that you're never going to find anywhere else. And that's the Arch.
The Arch. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we took a little evening stroll down to the Arch after eating St. Louis style pizza with you and your family, which we should talk about it later as well. Yeah, so we just kind of, checked it out. It is massive. And I immediately got scared because I've been afraid of heights ever since I was a kid. So my daughter and I were lying on our backs with our legs on the resting on the arch, just looking up at all 550 feet of it, just trying to imagine actually having the huevos to go up inside of it. And I assumed there's no chance I'm going to do this tomorrow morning. I'm too scared of heights. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the fact that the entrance is subterranean and you can't see what you're going into. And, there's nothing like being peer pressured by a 12 and 15-year-old to be like, all right, I'm going to go inside. I did end up going inside and it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's very helpful that you don't have like what some hotels will do. It's like, do you want to see the outside while you go up? No, I don't want to see the outside while I go up. But you can't. How was the elevator ride up? Because that's another elevator that you're not going to find anywhere.
You're not going to find that anywhere. Okay, so to describe it, so I just really had no sense of like how this building would function. First, I assumed that you at ground level would just enter the side of the arch and go up just right there. That there would just be like a door on the side of the arch, but it's actually all subterranean.
Yes.
So you go down in a little sort of valley between the two sides. There's an amazing, it looks like Men in Black, like the big vestibule, the entryway. Very much like super 1960s modernism. It's really amazing down there.
And this is all very new.
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah, within the last, I want to say 5 or 6 years.
We
incredible. Had the Jefferson, and the old museum was fine, but vastly superior now.
Yeah, so we weren't quite, we thought we were going to have to wait for a while, get a time ticket. We got there and the next tram was departing in like 6 minutes after we bought the ticket. So we just blew through the interpretive museum, which is really cool. Like big displays, cool models. Like it's really awesome. A history of St. Louis and, everything going on in America at the time.
Going up in the arch though.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah. And it's sort of like Star Tours in that there are like 2 or 3 stations along the way. Like, all right, we're going to hold you here to watch a movie. And then you're going to walk through here to do this. And then eventually you're going to get to the stairs. So you end up on a set of stairs where there are 8 doors sunken in the wall. Each door can have as many as 5 people waiting at it. And when the doors open up, the people who have just been up there spill out and you see the pod that you're getting into. It's a spherical pod that has 5 seats in it. And only one was a seat that I could sit in without like seriously banging my head on the side of the pod. It's a tiny little circular thing, but they're all bolted together and they spin. Yeah,
these were made for 1960s people. So
yeah, they were tiny people back then. It's like walking
very wee St. Louisans back then.
Yeah, it's like being in the bowels of the Santa Maria or something like that. So the 4 of us got in. It seals you off, and I assumed it was just going to be we'll just be in here and there'll be elevator music playing. But it turns out that when the doors close, they're glass doors. And you can see the interior of the arch as you're going out. So the first thing you see is a workbench where there's like a vise and like some tools and stuff. And I guess that's comforting to know that someone is maintaining this place. And then it starts creeping up And from your perspective, you're always, perfectly horizontal. But these 8 pods are all chained together. So as it's like circling around the arch, all the pods are spinning at the same time, so that it ends up, everyone arrives at the top in the exact opposite order that they left in the bottom. So like the whole thing, like the tram itself turns upside down, but you spin so that you're upright. And while you're going up, you can see the escape stairs that are going down the interior of the arch too, which I guess was comforting.
I hope you don't need these stairs.
Yeah, if worse comes to worse and there's like a power outage or something, you will be able to somehow walk downstairs to get out of the arch.
That might be comforting to some people.
It was comforting to me,
because it's a good like 4-minute long ride up there, and you're in a tiny thing. And if you're in there with some strangers, man, you gotta be real comfortable with strangers in there. So it's not a comfortable situation to be in. So hopefully being able to look out and see like, yes, you can escape. If the arch catches on fire somehow, you can get out of here. You can walk 320 feet down, 330 feet down.
I thought it was more than that. I thought it was like 500 feet.
No, it is 600. It's 630.
Oh, now 600 now. Whoa, we're going even higher. It's like 1,000,000 feet tall. Yeah, so we got to the top. I think you were only up there for about 10 minutes. It's nice and air conditioned, which was good for my my hot flashes that I was having thanks to the heat, or to the height, excuse me. But a cool thing is when you look over St. Louis there, on one side it's the river, which is not terribly interesting to look at from my non-river loving experience. If you were a barge simulator guy, you'd probably be really stoked on all the barges going by. But looking back at the city, I didn't realize that the Dred Scott case happened right there at the courthouse in or the county seat, whatever that building is, right there in St. Louis. So that's awesome. It's like the biggest thing you see right there.
Yeah. It's that's part of the whole national park kind of structure there. They built that. There's that park that kind of goes over the highway. That was not there. That was part of the new construction that they did. We all call it the lid. And you can walk up there. Grade school. I remember in grade school, one of our field trips to the old courthouse where you all like reenact the Dred Scott case.
Whoa.
You all get like parts to play and judge and jury and everything. And you reenact, not the whole thing, it's at a 5th grade level, but they had a lot of really good interpretive stuff there for the kids. And that's all been, updated and changed too. So
yeah, really cool. It was fun to see the wherever the Cardinals play. And there's another stadium kind of off in the distance, but we had
Busch Stadium and then our soccer stadium.
Yeah. But yeah, really cool. We did the same thing in Chicago too. It's maybe a pro tip for families that are traveling. Something we really like to do is save like the going really high in the city trip for the end of your stay in a city, because then you can survey all the places you've been. It's really cool. Like, so in Chicago, like going up in the Willis Tower, we could, even in 2 days, we could like look around and point to all the places we'd been. And that's, kind of a fun scavenger hunt kind of thing to do.
Yeah, you can see the Ferris wheel from the top of the arch. Though,
yeah,
right?
I think we saw it. Although it started raining while we were up there, which was a little bit disorienting, or I don't know. We stayed dry, so I guess I should be grateful. This is a well-constructed arch.
It is a problem. The arch is tall enough that when we get a good cloud bank in, or if we get a lot of fog or rain, it's going to be completely covered up. So you didn't get it on the best day, but you did get to go up into the arch. That's nice.
Yeah, super cool. I'm really glad we did it. And I thought it was maybe just going to be like a hokey, like, all right, little tourist trap kind of thing. Like, it is a really impressive building. It's super cool. Speaking of somewhat hokey tourist trap type experiences, a really exciting thing that we discovered on our way up to Chicago was the town of Atlanta, Illinois, where they have the world's largest collection of Paul Bunyans. It's really cool. And I think I'm starting to understand your personal fascination with roadside attractions and world's biggest, etc. Because your area between St. Louis all through Missouri and Illinois is lousy with these things. Just everywhere you look, there's people are so excited about their largest pair of underpants or whatever.
Yeah, we had largest pair of underpants and longest shoestring and largest pencil, all at the City Museum.
Oh, those are there. Yeah.
And I know there's a town somewhere in Illinois where like some guy who just has a lot of money decided to make it the town of the world's largest. So he just has created a lot of like, he's got the world's largest mailbox, which you can go up and into. Like it's got a little observatory inside of it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Largest fork and stuff. And like, look, if you're going to be a rich guy and want to throw your money around, making a bunch of world's large, that's exactly what I would do. That's
totally.
my Powerball fantasy is just like, well, I'm just going to have like a town of the world's largest. I guess that's just that's what makes my brain happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a fascination with a person who just wants something like that, who wants the world's largest, especially since we had the world's largest rocking chair, and then somebody in Illinois built an even bigger one.
Ugh,
right?
Just terrible.
Can you imagine being that much of an asshole? But they are. That's the world's largest community right there. Just be
every
like,
world's largest is. I mean, the gauntlet has been thrown. It is a challenge.
Right. You can make a world's largest anything, especially like if somebody in like say Germany makes the world's largest microphone. Fine, you can make the world's largest one here in America. Don't do it across the river though, man. Come on. Little decorum.
Yeah. Oh, just the spite that would take.
I can't even imagine.
I grew up in the shadow of the world's largest rocking chair, and one day. Oh man,
that's all right. We have the world's largest catsup bottle to get us through. Not ketchup, catsup.
Catsup, yeah.
Catsup specifically.
I wasn't going to point that out. All right, so let's move on to culinary things because we had 3 different varieties of pizza on our trip. We started with a pizza that is local to Bloomington, Indiana, where I was born, but they've since opened a location in Columbus where we have family. And unbeknownst to us, that's what they had. It's called Mother Bear's Pizza. And it was a perfectly fine pizza. Just great. And we bookended our trip with Giordano's, classic deep dish Chicago style pizza. And
sure.
the meat in the middle of this pizza sandwich of ours was St. Louis style pizza, drenched in Provel cheese, just smothered in cheese.
A cheese that has to come with a warning label. It's not the consistency that you're expecting.
It is
and
not.
There's no correct temperature to eat it at because there's no like, this is it. This is the perfect temperature for Provel. It's all just about 75%. But goddamn, we can't get enough of it around here.
Yeah. So the cracker crust was a big win for all members of our family. We had a split verdict on the sweetness of the sauce. It is a sweeter than typical sauce from our experience. There seems to be some sugar added to that. But the cheese is very divisive in our household. That cheese, first of all, when they bring it out, it doesn't even look like cheese. It looks like kind of like yellow half and half. It is so liquid on top. And
it looks like somebody poured it on top.
Yes, and it's the temperature of the sun. So this pizza's there, it's calling to you. You're hungry. You've just been going through a 3-dimensional rat maze for the last 4 hours. You got to get some calories in you stat. And if you touch that thing, not just with your mouth, but with your fingers, like you are going to get 2nd-degree burns. So you just have to sit there and watch it.
It has the consistency of napalm. Like if it gets on your fingers, you're just fucked. You can't get it off of your fingers.
There's nothing you can do.
You have to wait for it to cool down. That's all you can do. Or cut your fingers off. That's all you got.
So, give it like a good 8 minutes and it's going to be hot but edible. But the cheese it's definitely going to drip down the back of your throat. This is not... You cannot get a good like Pizza Hut style cheese pull off of this thing. It doesn't behave that way. It's much more like the kind of nacho cheese that you get from the dispenser at 7-Eleven. It's very liquid.
It's not a cheese that you can like be absent-minded about. You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to reach over, have another piece of pizza. You got to watch yourself because you might pick up a square and all of the cheese is just suddenly in the cardboard box, no longer on top of your pizza.
This is a cheese that requires a soup spoon. You need,
like they're going to cut it for you, but you better have another knife there just in case to kind of scoop and slide things up onto the piece there.
Yeah.
Now you took some of it back to the hotel. Did you eat it later? Okay.
We did not eat it.
Experience.
We did not eat it that night because we had all had plenty. We did just fine. Next day though, first of all, as a, woke ass environmentalist Seattleite, the amount of styrofoam that's being used in takeout containers in St. Louis is pretty alarming. Like
Emo's is like, I don't know why Emo still uses that because when I get takeout from other places, it's not that. It's usually the brown wax lined ones. It's not the styrofoam. But,
this is a styrofoam clamshell take-home container. This thing, and the drink cups too. And this is not unique to St. Louis. I feel like all through the southern U.S. this is the case. That drink cup has about like a 3/4 of an inch thick insulating barrier of styrofoam all the way around. It's the reason I didn't get a soda. I just felt too guilty. I'll take a water glass, please, sir. I can't do this to the world.
We don't have those around here, sir. We don't do that.
So yes, we took some back, stuck it in the hotel fridge. With the thought of, well, this will be great road trip fuel tomorrow as we're driving.
It's not going to be.
3 out of 4 members of our family did not agree with that. But I'm a man of thrift. I don't believe in waste. I want to take advantage. I mean, you go to college, the number one rule you learn is if they're giving out free food, you show up to the event and you eat as much of it as you can. And
this is food that's already been paid for.
I've got 6 pounds of semi-liquid pizza in a styrofoam clamshell container. And now it's solidified. It's been in the fridge all night long. So it's very thick. But it also, because of the liquid nature of the cheese, every one of those stacked pieces of pizza has sort of smushed into a lasagna-like aggregate of pizza. So the feeling of like peeling off slices like Kraft singles in order to eat them while driving.
And a real unfortunate part of the styrofoam is that the heat, there's so much liquid that the water will congeal on the top of
and then
the
it
pizza.
rains down. Yeah.
Yeah, it sprinkles water onto your pizza. So you go to open it up and you just get an immediate like somebody is spraying you with like an Emo's cologne, but it's just cold water. And then you see it on your pizza and you're like, well, I'm committed. You got to do it.
The whole car got humid when I opened it up. But I did it. I mean, I'm behind the wheel. Like, I got to stay awake. We've got 4.5 or 5 hours to get to Chicago. Like, I need food in me. So I ate the better part of that container of pizza. I mean, there was a lot of pizza in there.
There's a lot gets left over. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart or for the clinically weak of heart. From what I understand, either.
Francis, I'm not convinced St. Louis pizza's for anyone. Honestly,
it is our malort. It's kind of our dare. Like I'm going to take you to the City Museum, and then you're going to go to Emo's, and everybody walks out like that was certainly an experience that I had. In a week, you're going to laugh about it kind of thing.
Yeah. Or walk away like I did with the feeling of all I need to do to make this right is I need to take down this pizza in a podcast. And I think I just did. I think there are enough details here. Imagine eating. Okay. So I love cold pizza, like morning after cold pizza.
Absolutely.
No one else in my family does. My wife thinks it's the grossest thing ever. But I think like opening up a pizza box that's in the fridge and pulling out a cold slice of veggie pizza and eating it just ice cold is one of the greatest things ever. I don't know. There's just a feeling of like the morning after.
That's full bachelor experience. Like you don't even like get a plate. You're just standing in front of the refrigerator eating it.
Absolutely.
Or over the sink. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have time. Like I could microwave it if I thought it would be better. And I think it's better cold personally. Like I actually prefer it that way. So it's got to take a pretty bad experience for me to actually turn my nose up at cold pizza. It's made for me. I'm driving a Bronco on an American highway. I've got free cold pizza.
It's an experience. You come to St. Louis. We have better St. Louis style pizza.
Sure you do.
There is there's a place called Fortel's that has a really good Reuben pizza. There is unfortunately no longer a place that was called Happy Joe's. That Happy Joe's was great because it had that feel of an old like 1980s pizza diner kind of thing. It had the shiplap, like brown shiplap on the wall. It's got an arcade that is really loud. It's got threadbare carpeting, and it also had a BLT pizza. A bacon, lettuce, and tomato pizza that included mayonnaise in the sauce instead of just Let me tell you about a pizza that's like you eat that hot and cold, and you love it and hate it at the same time.
I eat that, I'd hate myself.
Yeah,
just the self-loathing.
That's why you do it. Like we are still on the forefront of really fucking up pizzas here in St. Louis. Like you would think, oh, they did it already with Provel. They've already made a terrible pizza.
Yeah, right. We've already split the atom. Why do we need to go
scratching the surface, brother? That's the thing that we're most proud of right now. We have so many more cursed pizzas to create here in St. Louis.
What about motor oil? Have we thought about that? Have we thought about one by one Lego sprinkles?
But ranch dressing as a sauce? Why not? You're going to dip it in ranch anyway.
Wait, that's terrible. I do like dipping pizza in ranch. I think that's delicious.
What if we made the whole pizza out of ranch?
Baking ranch on a pizza? Come on, man. Look, I get it. Like, you got to keep things interesting. Like, barge simulator is only going to keep you going for so long. We need to create culinary violence.
I've crashed into the Eads Bridge so many times. I need to refill myself. I'm gonna go eat the world's worst fucked up pizza in the world.
All right,
St. Louis, baby.
Judge Foreman is here with his referendum. First of all, meeting your family and spending time with you in person, Francis, very much a reason to come to St. Louis. But
absolutely.
But most people only have a parasocial relationship with you and might not have access to you for a St. Louis visit. I will say going to City Museum is worth the effort that it takes to get to St. Louis. Not if you live in Switzerland, not if you live 30 hours away.
We now have a direct flight from London to St. Louis. So if you live in London or if you live in the general London area, you can come directly to St. Louis and go to the City Museum.
Okay, I would say I would not spend more time getting there than you're planning to spend there at City Museum. I'd say that's the ratio. For us, it was about perfect. It was about a 3-hour drive from where we woke up in Indiana to get to the City Museum. And we spent 4.5 hours in the museum. So perfect ratio. If you're spending 10 hours on a direct flight from London to the City Museum, you better get there at open. And you better make a whole day of it.
We have other things. You can stay around. You can go to the chess museum too.
Okay, so I'm just saying that is worth it. The City Museum is worth it. The Arch, great little add-on. I wouldn't travel to St. Louis specifically to do the Arch. That's just me.
So, no.
Maybe there's some architectural enthusiasts or Lewis and Clark heads that would really love it. I'm not judging. I think that's fine.
If you are a fan of westward expansion, St. Louis is really the place to start.
You like colonialism? You like ruining indigenous cultures? Perfect.
Yeah. The Oregon Trail started just a few miles from here, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. But St. Louis pizza is not only not a reason to come to St. Louis, it's a reason to avoid St. Louis. St. Louis pizza, if you get wind that you're within an hour radius of St. Louis pizza, I would recommend choosing the alternate route on your Google Maps.
That's fine. Look, and I'm going to tell you, I have an Emo's right next to me. I also have a Domino's right next to me, and we order from Domino's. Emo's, like my parents like Emo's. They'll order it sometimes. But I have never, there are other St. Louis style pizzas. Like we have a brand called Dogtown Pizza that does frozen pizzas. Fantastic. $8 for a pizza. Feeds me and the wife, kid, everything. There are better things that are out there. You don't have to eat the Emos. But like I said, if you want that full St. Louis experience, because you can get the pizza, you can get the toasted raviolis, and you can get the gooey butter cake. So you can knock out like the trifecta of St. Louis culinary necessities there in an Emo's, and then be rolled out of there.
We had the butter cake, and that was delicious. It was like a lemon bar without lemon, but it was very good. Yep. And we learned about toasted ravioli that in St. Louis, you call them T-Ravs.
Yes, T-Ravs.
Because you're very busy people. You don't have time for all those extra syllables.
They're not toasted at all. They're baked or they're fried in oil. But no, they are not toasted.
T-Ravs, though. I
guess you can put them in a toaster oven when you buy them frozen.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of our food was kind of made by like, whoops, I made a mistake, but I still have to eat this. So,
whoops, I grabbed my pants. Here it is.
I put too much sugar in the cake. Well, you better fucking eat it. All right, I guess.
Well, I'll co-sign on that idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, we really appreciate you hosting us in St. Louis. We feel like we had a really good slice of St. Louis life. And it was really good to spend time with you guys.
Not a good slice of St. Louis pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that slice of life. That was a slice of death.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you could come. And of course, if you're ever back in, we have plenty of other things. But, please go see more things. I'm jealous of you going to New York. I really want to go to the Southwest. I haven't been to Arizona or New Mexico or anything like that. Whole region of America that I've just never laid eyes on.
Utah, dude, you do not sleep on Utah. It is bonkers beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah. And we do have down towards Oklahoma is the more ranching kind of area of the Midwest. So that's an area that I want to get more into as well. So go fly around, drive around, visit some things. Go find a world's largest. There's your, if you ever want to know, like, what should you do to have a fulfilling life, find out your closest world's largest and go be in awe of it. Go like see it and just be like, somebody did this. Somebody was just like, I have an idea and I'm just going to do this for myself. I'm going to create the world's largest snail and I'm going to put it right here in this park and I'm going to have a positive impact on this world. Bask in that.
Yeah, bask in the positivity. We've got I think the world's largest hat and boots out in Seattle. That's a good one. Yeah.
See, there's world's largest around us for those who have eyes to see them. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Jack, thanks for being on and telling us all about your wonderful time in the Midwest. Everybody, we will talk to you next week.
Toodaloo.